Mario RPGs are kind of having a bit of a renaissance nowadays, aren't they? I mean, there's that Super Mario RPG remake last year, the TTYD remake this year, and now Mario and Luigi just got revived for a new game. I was completely convinced Mario and Luigi was just going to be dead forever, like Nintendo's forgotten Mario RPG series. But nope, they brought it back, and now I don't know how to segment it to the actual reveal. Let's set our expectations for the new game by reviewing where this series got its start. I don't know, what do you people want from me? I don't really know that much about this game's development. I can just assume Nintendo wanted to make another Mario RPG, since Intelligent Systems was busy working on Paper Mario. They got a company called Alpha Dream, made of former Squaresoft employees, including people who worked on the very first Mario RPG. I have no idea how long it took to develop this game, but after an E3 reveal, Alpha Dream released Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga on the Game Boy Advance in 2003. So in 2017, the game got a remake on the 3DS, and this is the version I'm going with. I just find it more nicer looking, smoother. I kind of think the Game Boy Advance version is a little ugly in comparison to the other games in the franchise, so, you know, I just want to go with this nicer version. Plus, this one lets you speed up cutscenes, so, like, I'd rather stick with that. Although, I will say, some of the music sounds a bit better than the GBA version, such as the battle theme. And the main villain's theme. Anyways, enough about development stuff. Let's get into the actual video game. The game starts with the Mushroom Kingdom getting a visit from the neighboring Bean Kingdom. Gee, I wonder why it's called that. The ambassador shows up, and turns out it was a trap. The ambassador was actually an evil witch named Cacoletta and her minion named Fawful, who is way more important in the rest of the games than you would think from just this one game. They steal Princess Peach's voice and leave. Switching our perspective, we see Toad come to war the Mario Bros, and we finally jump into gameplay as Toad. Huh. Well, anyways, we look for Mario, and then Toad sees him naked in the shower. If that doesn't set the tone of this series, then I don't know what does. Thankfully, Mario gets dressed, not without accidentally harming poor Luigi, and heads to Peach's castle. By the time that Mario arrives, guess what? Bowser's already at the castle trying to kidnap Peach, because of course he is. So, our good old chum Mario goes and stops him. Now we've actually entered our first battle. In Mario and Luigi, the battle system kind of works like this. You have normal attacks like jumping or using your hammer, which do considerably more damage if you time your button presses right. A for Mario, B for Luigi. Of course, you can also heal, like most RPGs do. You can also dodge and counterattack energies, which really helps make the battle system really engaging. It also means that whether or not an enemy misses is not decided by some stupid RNG. I like normal RPGs, I promise. I'm just not huge on the RNG stuff. I love this battle system. In fact, I love it so much, I kind of went after any enemy I saw. So yeah, I basically went on the Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga genocide route. Anyways, we get Bowser to stop fighting us, and find out Peach's voice was replaced by bombs. This causes Bowser to decide to not capture Peach, only because he doesn't want his castle broken by bombs. That's pretty in character. Anyways, Bowser fires up his Koopa Cruiser and takes Mario and Luigi to the Bean Kingdom. Mario goes along just fine, but Luigi gets forced into it. Inside the cruiser, we learn about items, get our passports, and do some property damage. It's fun. Oh, by the way, while recording, I accidentally had everything upscaled for my first recording session, which made all the 3D assets all, like, sharp and clean and really ugly and clashed with the 2D stuff, so I unupscaled it, and then later on, I disabled this stupid linear filtering thing that made all the 2D stuff blurry, and I like my games, you know, pixelated and sharp. So if you're wondering why the footage kind of changes quality early on, that's why. Emulation is annoying. Anyways, back to the game. The Koopa Cruiser gets attacked by Fawful, you know, little green guy with broken English. And after an easy battle and getting mistaken for meteorites, Mario and Luigi land somewhere. I forgot the name. But anyways, it's near the Bean Kingdom, so at least we're near there. Before we cross, we gotta cross the border between the kingdoms by playing jump rope. Really a unique game, but after that, we're off. We find Bowser stuck in a cannon and meet this thing called Tolstar, who tells us to get 100 coins and he'll help us. In the middle of grinding for coins, we meet these two wacky-looking mushroom fellers who teach us about Bros moves, which are little platforming moves Mario and Luigi do to traverse the overworld. The first two we get is Luigi's high jump and Mario's spin. Weirdly enough, in the GBA version, you could manually switch between the Bros to choose Bros moves, while the 3DS version just does it automatically depending on what move it is. Also, you couldn't move with the spin or high jump, which made the high jump especially annoying to use, because if you'd mess it up, you'd just be stuck doing whatever this is until you timed your press correctly. At least the spin jump lets you do this in the GBA version. So don't question why the footage looks like that. I recorded it in 640 by 480 for some reason. I don't know, I'm weird. Anyways, soon after learning Bros moves, we learn Bros attacks, which are probably my favorite thing in this series. Basically, what happens is that you perform a super powerful attack by engaging in what is essentially a timing-based minigame. They're really fun to do and encapsulate what I love about this series, timing-based challenges. You also can't constantly do them, you have to make sure you have enough Bros points to do them, which is essentially just magic points in a normal RPG. Also, after performing a Bros move multiple times, you unlock a upgraded version of it called Super Bros moves. The Bros moves in this game do kind of differ from the other ones in that, it's more just Mario and Luigi, jumping or spinning in a more complex way instead of Partners in Time Onward, which use stuff like green shells and fire flowers. But Brothership seems to be bringing back both styles of Bros moves, which is kind of cool. We eventually return to Tolstar and give him his coins, and he refuses to help us, so we beat him up. Unfortunately, immediately after, one of those mushroom dudes from earlier launches Bowser out of a cannon because he complained too much. So, he's out of the picture. Well, it can't get any worse. Immediately after, we get framed for kidnapping the Bean Prince. Thankfully, we managed to convince them we didn't kidnap him, so we don't have to deal with that. We enter a small village full of weird-looking cactus people. Walking around, we see Fawful again, where he blocks our path with a bunch of statues, so we need to go find hammers to smash them. Oh, also, you can make Mario fat with the water. That's a mechanic. We eventually do find people that can make us hammers, but they need hoo-hoo blocks from Hoo-Hoo Mountain, so we gotta head up there. The mountain's basically the second dungeon-esque location. It uses this wind gimmick a lot, and also uses the water gimmick a lot. We eventually come across this thing called Hoo-Hoo-Ros. He makes us participate in the greatest challenge ever. Collecting orbs. Then we fight him, and he lets us pass. Okay, then. Later on, we finally find Hoo-Hoo blocks, and also this pterodactyl called Blabadon, who's sitting on this weird eggs. Before we can even get a Hoo-Hoo block, though, the egg hatches, and we fight this dragon with a friggin' goofy-ah haircut. So after defeating the dragon, we find out that the dragon was actually Prince Bean. You know, the guy who we almost got framed for kidnapping. So it turns out Cackaletta trapped him in an egg and turned him into a dragon, but I guess beating the living daylights out of him reversed the transformation. He tells us to go to the Bean Castle and then leaves. Once we head back down to the town, we get hammers made for us and are finally able to use them in the overworld and in combat. I don't hate using hammers in battle, but I've never really been a big fan of the delay they have. It's a little annoying to get used to. Anyways, we head over to the castle, ride some minecarts, and we find the main castle village basically destroyed. Gee, I wonder who could have done that. Also, this dude kind of looks like the Vault Boy from Fallout. Anyways, we head into the castle and meet who I assume is the real ambassador. She tells us that we need to repair the plumbing before we can talk to the queen. Yeah, guess what? We find the ambassador again, and it turns out that we got tricked again. So we get out of the dungeons with the actual ambassador, and then Queen Bean shows up. And did Cacoletta forcibly make her go through steroid abuse? Jeez. Anyways, we beat the living daylights out of her too, but instead of curing her, this just leaves her close to dying. The ambassador tells you that to cure the queen of her steroid abuse, we have to retrieve the Chocola reserve from Chucklehuck Woods. So there you go, guys. If a loved one of yours is suffering steroid abuse, just shove a large reserve of cola down their throat. Anyways, we head off and get introduced to badges. They work almost exactly like the other gear, which is basically just like armor and RPG, you know, increasing or decreasing stats. The badges basically do that, but also give like some sort of bonus, like healing HP or bros points after attacking. And then we head off to Chucklehuck Woods, solve a barrel puzzle, and then find this weird thief called Popple and this other guy called Rookie who is really familiar. And like, I swear he looks like another character I've seen before, but I just can't put my finger on it. Whatever. We fight them because they dare stand in our way, and we find something terrifying. French people. Disgusting. They teach us their evil French ways, such as squishing Mario and slamming Luigi into the ground. It's horrifying. Especially when you find out you can punch Luigi in the day. And the bros attacks you get for these are... Whoa.
That's a lot of damage!
Continuing on into the forest, we find these tribal Shy Guys because Nintendo always uses Shy Guys for tribal roles for some reason. We meet this big tree called Chuckle Root who tells us to get the Chuckle Fruit, and then we can get the Chuckola Reserve. So we do that, nothing too big of note happens besides a kinda annoying Wiggler boss fight, but we get the Chuckle Fruit and then Chuckle Root lets us pass before Popple and his still really familiar looking rookie suddenly pass ahead of us, wanting to take the Chuckola Reserve for themselves. That's not good. We head off to stop them, and then we see this little green feller named Bubbles, who is apparently the ultimate comedian. I mean, if the ultimate comedy is the kind of stuff my dad would make, I guess you could call him that. Then the Chuckola Reserve itself attacks us, and we defeat it. And then Bubbles sends us down a cave, with Mario getting trapped in the barrel holding the Chuckola Reserve, so we have a solo Luigi section for a bit. After that, we return to Mario, find out he drank all the reserve, go all the way back to Bean Castle, and then turn the queen back to normal. We then get told about Cacoletta's true plan to steal the Bean Star, which is basically just like a super powerful MacGuffin that can grant anyone's desires, and it just needs a beautiful voice to reawaken it. Now, this is just a little feeling I have, but I don't think Cacoletta has good intentions with the Bean Star. I don't know, just a feeling I got. We then get told that Cacoletta is heading to a place called Woohoo University, and so we head there. The place has been overrun with monsters, and even worse, puzzles. Anyways, after those, and saving Luigi from being kidnapped, we find Cacoletta and kill her. She actually dies and just becomes a spirit in Thoughtful's helmet. Jesus, Mario. Before that, the Beanstar gets annoyed by Princess Peach's voice and breaks a hole into a tunnel area, and we follow it before finding Popple and Rookie, who I still can't figure out who he reminds me of. But we fight them, and then they all hop on the Beanstar, and then we find out Rookie was Bowser the whole time! Whoa! Mario and Luigi fall off the Beanstar and land on a mysterious beach afterwards. We find these two ancient temples, and Mario learns to use fire, and Luigi learns thunder. Actually, that's lightning. Anyways, these moves are really situational in the overworld, and they're only ever used to, like, light up torches or electrify these orbs. But in battle, They introduce a cool weakness system, and they're also just generally nice moves to use, especially when you can't jump on something. After that, I tried to head out of the island, but it took me forever to do that because I didn't think to just move downward on this one pipe section. I'm stupid. We then cut to a cutscene of Fawful and Cacoletta's soul finding Bowser's passed out body, and then she possesses his body. So we're not done with them yet. We go back to the Bean Bean Castle and get told that Princess Peach is arriving via airport, so we head there only to realize they're dealing with a piranha plant infestation. So we kill them, take out the big one, and then Peach finally arrives. It also seems that she got her voice back, and you wanna know why? She never got it stolen in the first place. In actuality, it was Birdo disguised as Peach. That's weirdly convoluted for a Mario game. Anyways, with all threats seemingly gone, Peach decides to take vacation in the Bean Bean Kingdom and wants to go to this place called Little Fungi Town, which is basically where a bunch of toads took refuge in the kingdom. Problem is, we have to traverse this place called Teehee Valley and participate in a really annoying escort mission. If Peach just so happens to be off screen for a few seconds, she gets kidnapped. And you also have to do puzzles and stuff while escorting her. So yeah, it's really obnoxious. After that, and fighting whatever that is, we make it to Little Fungi Town where we literally just play a minigame, Mario gets poisoned, and Luigi has to get a cure for him. Problem is, Luigi's too scared, so he gets hypnotized into thinking he's Mario. This game is insane. After we get the cure, we come back and oh look, Peach gets kidnapped. Because of course she does. The person who did the kidnapping is this thing. It's Bowser's body possessed by Cacoletta. Her name's Bowletta, and she just looks kinda weird. After curing Mario and telling him the news, we go back to Bean Bean Castle again, and then Bowletta sends a threat demanding the Beanstar piece. Yo, is that a 3DS? Yo! Oh, alright. Video game. She demands the Beanstar pieces. We go out on a huge fetch quest to find the pieces of the Beanstar. We find our first piece in Teehee Valley on some skeleton pirate ship. We play this barrel minigame for them and then somehow make it so that the ship sails again by removing this fat dude from a wall. That's oh, it almost immediately sinks afterwards. We end up at a beach and then decide, you know what, I'm tired of adventuring, I'm gonna go get a massage. So we get massages from these weirdly curvaceous girls called the Jellyfish Sisters, which leads into us learning two more bros moves, which are tickling Mario and setting Luigi's butt on fire. I also want to mention the bros attacks you get from these, specifically the Mario one, because it requires that you spam the A button to power up a fireball, and oh my god, it hurts so much. And the super version is Mario's only move that can hit multiple enemies. This sucks! Anyways, we eventually find this crab with a lisp named Hermie who has our Bean Bean star piece, and he gets jealous of how freaking epic and awesome, cool and based, epic we are, so we fight him and, well, we defeat him and get the star piece. Next up, the next piece is in a theater dedicated to Yoshi's. I mean, that wouldn't be my first pick for a theater, but go off. The founder of the theater, Bottle, is actually the brother of Bubbles. You know, the guy from Chucklehuck Woods who told dad jokes and tried to kill us? Yeah, he's related to that guy. He asked us to get a bunch of neon eggs from the Yoshis, and then he'll give us the Beanstar piece. To get Yoshis to poop out neon eggs, you gotta get this one specific fruit, which activates a fetch quest where you have to look for them in the nearby area. Yes, I'm doing a fetch quest inside of a fetch quest. In the middle of the fetch quest, I get another Beanstar piece from helping this guy paint shirts. That's convenient. Anyways, we get the fruit, we kill a piranha plant, and we get the Beanstar piece. Let's keep going. The final piece requires us to play a mini game in this place called the Winkle Coliseum. Then we find Popple trying to steal it, and we fight him. We return to the Bean Bean Castle, and Bowletta sends us another message on her 3DS telling us to go to Joke's End. We get our hammers reforged and then transform Luigi into a surfboard like he's a freaking transformer. We eventually reach Joke's End, and It sucks. It's long. The enemies are annoying. This girl's annoying. This boss fight is annoying. And it's just not fun. But we eventually find Bowletta. Surprise, surprise, she takes the Beanstar, even if we tried tricking her with a fake one. But we reveal to her that actually, the Peach she kidnapped is an imposter. And she steals that Peach. Then, as Bella is flying the Koopa Cruiser to the Mushroom Kingdom, we find out Luigi dressed up as Peach. Weirdly enough, this is not the first time in the franchise that Luigi has done this. Anyways, we free the Beanstar and send the Koopa Cruiser crashing, and now the kingdoms are finally at peace. Well, Luigi gets stuck in a sandpit and captured by Poppo, so we go save him. But now we can finally finish the game. Bowletta is back and attacked Bean Bean Town. She took control of Bowser's castle, and we have to go up there to stop her, with Lebanon flying us up there. Now we're finally here, the final dungeon, and oh my god, this music slaps. So as we head through is that a bullet bill with a sniper rifle? Anyways, we fight Iggy, the Koopling, he exists. And we fight Morton, he's kind of annoying. Then we fight Lemmy, he also exists. Ludwig sucks because his fight is basically just an onslaught of counterattacking and it's annoying and the final attack has really annoying timing. Then we play classic Mario. Then we fight Roy, he's annoying too. Then we fight Wendy, she just steals Roy and Lemmy's gimmicks. Hack. Then, coincidentally, my favorite Koopling, Larry, has my favorite gimmick. It's a tennis one. Next, we have a final confrontation with Fawful, which is a neat fight after he gets blown out of the castle. And we never see him ever again in the entire series. At all. Never again. Now, we enter the final boss. Sans Undertale! Kidding, it's Bowletta. She goes down weirdly quickly, but hey, that's the game, and just kidding. She swallows us, and we fight Cacula's Soul, and this fight is awful. It's annoying. You start on 1 HP, most of her attacks are not fun to dodge, and she takes forever to die. Cacula sucks. I hope she dies. Oh, cool. Cacula's Soul is exterminated, and Bowser returns to normal. Prince Peasley and his infinite wisdom rigged the castle to explode, and we have to escape. Unfortunately for Bowser, he was passed out during that, and wakes up just to explore it out of his castle. Everyone says goodbye, taking a plane home, with poor Bowser tailing around stuck in a box. He got absolutely bullied throughout this game. And that's the game! Oh. My game crashed. Right at the end, my game crashed. Alright then. Well, overall, I think this game's great. Sure, Joke's End sucks and the final boss is annoying, but the core gameplay is fantastic. And if you like Mario RPGs, then you should definitely check this series and game out. I think both the GBA and 3DS versions are good, but I say go with the 3DS version if you can. It's not too difficult to emulate, besides 1 or 2 stutters and the game crashing. Bruh. Also, Nintendo would probably lose their mind about someone pirating the ROM, even if they're not selling the game. So, get it physically if you can. It's great, and it's making me even more excited for Mario and Luigi Brothership. So, that just leaves the question, am I going to review the sequels? I mean, yeah, sometime later, because this one took a lot of time, and I want to do a shorter game next. Maybe Transformers. I don't know. It's probably going to be something completely stupid, and I don't know. I also want to work on a Silent Hill 2 review to coincide with the remake coming out, but that's not going to be until October. Also, for people who were expecting a Transformers Revenge of the Fallen review, I'm sorry, but that game was way too boring to review. I'll try reviewing it again when I have the motivation. Anyways, dislike, unsubscribe, and report. See you later. Also, Minion Quest sucks. They should have brought back Mario Bros.